Those are not your thoughts. Your thoughts are actually very pure. Neutral, sort of genderless space of being seen and being taken care of by the universe as the divine child is actually where a lot of our power lies. Hi, beautiful souls. Welcome to another episode of Soul Awakening with Shantia. In today's podcast, we're going to be talking about becoming the divine child and transitioning from victim to creator here, which feels so much more empowering, right? It feels more empowering for us to feel like a creator. If you haven't already, go ahead and check out any of the other previous episodes of the podcast. I previously started this podcast on my other channel, Beautiful Awakening with Shantia, and I have all of the first initial episode links down below for you to check out. I'll be happy for you guys to do that. Let's dive into the topic. Thank you guys for showing support, joining the new channel, and I hope you guys are enjoying this content. And just know that I'm open to feedback, and I'm also open to suggestions about topics that you guys are interested in me discussing. Maybe you want to hear my perspective or input. Maybe there are some things you're questioning about life or about reality that you want someone to bounce ideas off of, and I'm open to that. I don't know, I've been just feeling this sort of fiery, I don't know what you want to call it, but this fiery creative energy to share, to connect. And honestly, connection has been something I've struggled with. You know, I definitely have strong 12th house placements, as in I have 3 planets, my main planets in the 12th house, and I like isolation. And sometimes it can be hard, you know, for those of us who are quite sensitive, like we're hypersensitive to the world. We feel at times like society's rejecting us because we think differently, perhaps. And turns out they're not really rejecting you. It's just we're sensitive. And so as sensitive beings, sometimes we reject ourselves before others even can reject us, honestly. Or we project that energy out onto the world thinking that people are going to reject us. And that's not really anyone's intentions. Everyone wants to be loved, supported, and seen. And when you give yourself that opportunity to be loved, supported, and seen, put yourself out there, this actually opens other people up to this energy of feeling seen and loved themselves. So share yourself with the world, you know, don't shy away. And I don't know, I'm feeling the collective pull right now. Rahu and Ketu aren't going to be switching nodes until I think it's May, but I'm already feeling that collective energy, and Saturn is in Aquarius right now. So we've probably been feeling it for some time, feeling this call to collectively connect, share with people, and find communities, find people to bounce ideas off of. And if anything, just enjoy the reality of seeing who shows up in your reality, and I'm always open to seeing who shows up in my reality, and, you know, finding new content and communities of people to connect to. Okay, so let's talk about being the divine child. I was thinking about this last night, and I find that I don't quite relate to, like, of course, I'm a divine feminine, and I definitely have all that feminine energy in me. But I find that I'm somewhere in the middle sometimes. You know, I'm not really leaning towards divine feminine or masculine, but I feel more like a divine child. And the energy or the messages that I've gotten from spirit around being a divine child is that this is actually what we all are. In this neutral, sort of genderless space of being seen and being taken care of by the universe as the divine child is actually where a lot of our power lies. I was listening to Franco Romero today, and he was talking about, he likes to talk a lot about the divine child. Like, I have to buy his book. Like, I have to get onto that because I want to hear more of his perspectives on divine femininity, the divine masculinity, and the divine child, because I feel like I relate to being a divine child in this world. Like, I feel like I'm different, starseedy, whatever you want to call it. And I've been trying to find my place, and I realized that the reason why it's sort of hard for me to find my place in this world is because I relate more to being just a divine child, and I see the whole world as my playground, and I don't see any party as the guilty party. You know, I think I might have uploaded the podcast where I talk about who do I have a closer relationship to? And I actually have a closer relationship to my dad. Yeah, and my dad is the one who tuned me into like creativity and nurturing energies, is where I felt connected to that. My mom's always been there. She's always been supportive, and she supported my creative endeavors. But of course, your parents always have those expectations they put on you where they want you to succeed. And I think what helps me so much is because I saw that my parents were the programming that I was given into this world. I didn't really have the chance to project that onto anyone else because I could see that the programming came with my parents. And that's why I think identifying or seeing your identity or seeing yourself as the divine child helps you, because it helps you to clearly see sort of what are your mommy issues or your daddy issues, how that manifests in reality, right? How those expectations manifest and whatever weight or pressure you're feeling put on yourself. And a lot of us, we feel like a victim in the programming by the world, usually through the upbringing of our childhood and through our relationship dynamic with our parents. And if we can identify that, whatever that is and how it makes us feel, then we can find a way to break free of it. So in a previous episode, I talked about programming, right? Programming. So my programming from the divine masculine side is expectations on like getting things done, being a perfectionist, and achieving to matter in this world. And from the divine feminine aspect of it, the wounded divine feminine, and how that shows up for me is a lack of nurturance in myself. Now, I felt like for me personally, creativity was always supported by my parents, but did they actually think I could be an artist? Like, they were always sort of trying to figure out, like, how can you practically realize your dreams? Like, this doesn't sound really practical, because I didn't feel like anything was concrete. And part of the reason being that things might not feel concrete for yourself if you relate to being more of a divine child is because you're kind of here to float. You're here to exist. And as a divine child, you sort of come into this like predestined energy of coming to this realization that you're here to just exist. You're not here to accomplish anything or do anything or matter to the society or the world by accomplishing things. Once you get caught up in the web of achieving things and people giving you validation for achieving things, that's where things get really tricky. Because at that point, you've installed that system and you just keep living your life based off of that, always feeling like you have to achieve to feel good enough. So I would say that I've always been rebellious, and I've always felt like, okay, this is not really what I'm interested in doing. I'm not interested in achieving things. So anytime I achieve things, yeah, I can achieve things. I can get accolades and attention, but I start pulling away because I'm like, the energy starts to get sticky. Anytime it starts becoming about achieving or moving up the totem, is it the totem pole or the ladder of success, and getting those marks, getting that recognition, that certificate, getting those accolades, I start to be wary of that because I don't ever want to get caught in that, because I always feel like I'm getting entrapped into someone else's system when I'm doing that. So I've always sort of been rebellious, and I felt like, you know what? I'm here to just sort of do my own thing, because if I work for anyone else or a certain organization, I get entrapped into their own expectations and ethics and mode of operation. That is not my mode of operation. I'm here to be more free. So there's a song I wrote. It's kind of sad, actually, but it's beautiful. It actually has a beautiful message, and it's called Ripped Wings. And this is for all of those Starseeds, divine childs out there. And I'll just go ahead and sing some of the lyrics. I want to warn you, though, I'm not a singer, but I do love writing songs. Forgotten child, whose are you? With your wings ripped off, you don't recognize that you are the prize, 'cause you've been terrorized by those fake lies. Come to your senses, my dear. No need to any more fear. I forgot my lyrics. You are free to be who you wanna be, 'cause you're the free bird. Yes, you're the free bird. Yeah. Let me try to remember that line. Come to your senses, my dear. No need to any more fear. Something like that. No need to buy into the fear. I wonder if you guys have felt like that in this world, in this 3D reality, if you felt like the forgotten child. And just know that that's normal. It's because everyone's like living this fast-paced life. And a lot of us who relate to that quiet part of ourselves, we just want to like get through life peacefully, existing, you know, without the drama. And at times, when we're going through our obstacles in life, we do feel forgotten, and we do hear that victim story. And just know that feeling like a victim, there's nothing to be ashamed of. That's part of the programming. It's part of the matrix. You are here to experience what it feels like to be a victim, but not to stay that, to learn compassion and to learn what it feels like to experience heartbreak and disappointment. That's where the richness of life is. It's in the contrast. And then after that point, once you come to that realization of like feeling like that, something inside of you, a small voice behind starts to say, hey, I really want to feel more empowered. How can we get into a more empowered space of existence? And that's when you start to really embark on this journey of awakening or remembering, where your soul is coming alive inside of you and your soul starts guiding you. And it's such a gentle, maybe sometimes a fierce loving, but overall it's a gentle, loving, kind voice showing you the way and showing you support. And the way that you know that this soul is coming more alive inside of you, it's always there, right? The way that you really know is just the way that you start talking to yourself. My programming, like my dad is like militant, military background, grew up in the South. Children are seen, they're not heard. And I could tell you, growing up in just in childhood, it was so difficult. Like I was super rebellious, I was super outspoken, and my dad just wasn't having it. You know, he just thought I was just being difficult. And funny enough, we were very similar. He's a protester too. It's just he was reticent. You know, he was silenced as a kid, and he felt so resentful about that. And so he actually gave us more of a space to talk, but it would always turn into a debate, like I'm right, you're wrong kind of thing. Prove your points. And he's also a bit of a priest-like energy. You know, he has strong Pisces in his chart and water signs in his chart. But he, you know, he has like strong morals and whatnot, yet at the same time, he still struggles with societal expectations and the programming. He made it his own, right? This like get it done kind of thing. And he's always sort of battling with himself when it comes to those two sides. And I think we all can relate to that battle within us, where some part of us like wants to be free and so liberated and the free bird. And another part of us is like, no, you got to do it like this. You got to get it done like this. And that's where, you know, it's just air. It's air and it's just thoughts. And the universe asks you to step into your power. And they always say stay grounded. They're always giving me the grounded energy, like stand when that strong force of wind is blowing past you and be still. Peace, be still, right? Be still. And if you're still in that strong wind, you can actually handle it better than you think. And when you start to observe it, you start to see that it's not your own. It's just the programming of society. Those are not your thoughts. Your thoughts are actually very pure. If you can tune into it, that quieter voice, you adapted the programming of society. Perhaps you adapted the programming of your parents, and your parents adapted the programming of their parents, and their parents adapted the programming of their parents. And it's a tradition we keep passing along. So, you know, you get to be a breaker of chains in that tradition, and you get to decide that your family lineage gets to move in a different direction. You get to heal that DNA and that past trauma. So I've embarked on this journey of rebelling and deciding to just do things that I want to do. And it started with like literal creativity and me being more of an artist. And then it became something bigger. And I'm telling you, you know, this is the year to really start redirecting things. Of course, we're in a time of receiving and rest because there's strong Pisces energy. If you follow Vedic astrology, and Pisces is about rest. It really is about the receptivity energy and things coming to an end. But as things are coming to an end, you can also acknowledge what things are wanting to come alive. And I think this is a really good point to experiment, to trial things out, be open to things changing on whim. But whatever intentionally you'd like to create, I am inviting you to start creating it, even if it's just behind the scenes where no one is seeing it or looking at it. Create things, create your life, be a creator. And you're creating every moment in your life. When you're deciding what you eat, how you dress, what you want to make, you're deciding. I decided I was going to have more fun with YouTube this year. And I was given a vision, and I had a lot more clarity about what I wanted. It's not really what I wanted for the channel. It's more of like what's going to be fun to create. It's like, this is going to be fun to create. Obviously, I can't control the outcome, but I want to connect more with people this year. And it's not exhausting. At first, I thought it would be draining but I actually, how people say, oh, I'm an introvert, extrovert. I think we're all actually ambiverts, and we all actually feed off of other people when we're around people who sort of get us, or maybe we learn how to master our own energy, and it doesn't matter what environment we're in. We've mastered our energy, and we can feed off of like energy no matter what. I find that I feed off of the energy of other people, and it actually motivates me to be interested in things. And without that connection of community, it's not as fun. It's not as fun. I mean, I have fun doing things by myself, but I kind of like the unpredictability of other people and their personalities. You just don't know what they're going to say or what they can contribute to a conversation or a discussion or their story, their life. Every human is just so alive with so much energy, and it's kind of fascinating, especially when you're experiencing it in person. It was so interesting. I went to a meeting yesterday where I met some people who I've only ever seen on Zoom. For the past few years, I've only ever seen them on Zoom, and I saw them in person. I'm like, wow, they're so alive with life. Like, they're so alive with life. They're a whole human with legs. And a lot of them are taller in real life, which is so weird. I'm like, wow, everyone's taller in real life. It's so weird. Yeah, it's very interesting to feel the energy of someone in a room versus on Zoom or online. You guys are kind of getting the 2D version of me. But if we were to interact in 3D, that would be interesting, wouldn't that? Something to think about. So become the creator of your life, and don't wait till tomorrow to live. I'm not going to say, oh, you just don't know how long you're going to live. I think we kind of do know. I think we can kind of sense if we have more time or less time. And, life isn't really being called to be lived with this urgency to like rush to do things. It's being called to be embraced to its fullest in all of its, from the minutia, that's not the right word, but like the minute experiences to the bigger experiences of what is. And this world is alive with so much magic. We don't have to, there's so much, I don't know, the news and everything, yet life is going on. Like, the plants are still growing outside, the sun keeps coming up, the sky still turns blue and then cloudy, and then all of these different colors happen. Like, no, this reality is thrumming with life. It's fascinating. And then you are thrumming with life. Like, you're an explosion, you're a bomb of life. And whatever you create, it creates ripple effects. Your thoughts create ripple effects. If you put enough energy behind it, it can. And, my guides are always teaching me that our state of consciousness is what matters the most. So while you might have a desire to create something, the divine most certainly has a plan for your life. And the higher you rise up in consciousness, the more abstract, flowy, intriguing, and mysterious your life path becomes. So embrace that too. And my life is an unfolding mystery that I get to unwrap and unbox every day. I don't know what's going to happen. All I know is that I'm excited for it. whatever wants to happen. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, so it really just takes a minute for you to switch your mindset, to shift into from victim to creator. The victim is thinking about the past, or it's worried about the future, and it feels out of control. The creator understands who and what it is. It understands that it's co-creating this reality based off of how you want to perceive it, how you are perceiving it on habit, how you are intentionally perceiving it based off of your willpower and where your energy is going. That totally changes your reality. So welcome the magic. What kind of magic do you feel like you can create today? You're a magician. You're all the tarot cards, and you're all the energies, you're all the archetypes in one. And some of you, obviously are powerful teachers. Like, you're here to teach people some things. And I'm so looking forward to seeing how more people will come out of the closet, come out of the spiritual closet, come out of hiding or silence, and start to share their generosity, their love, their beauty with the world. Like, you are the beauty, you are the love. And just by sitting down, I bet if I were to sit down and have a conversation with you at a cafe, I bet you have a story. Like, I feel like you've probably had so many adventures and experiences you've had in life that you've learned from, and maybe you have so many different interests that you'd like to talk about too. So by valuing yourself, valuing whatever it is that you're about, and understanding that whatever you're interested in, whatever it is you're passionate about, whatever it is that you love, whatever it is you want to share with people, that is the most interesting thing. You know how they have that commercial, this is the most interesting man in the world. Well, what makes people more interesting is being interested in themselves. It sounds like self-absorption, but to some degree, that's actually really healthy. Like, a healthy amount of self-absorption where you're like, wow, I'm this alive energy of life, and I'm a mystery that I'm here to solve. You're your mystery that you're here to solve. And by embracing that mystery, you become the main character of your story, and you stop being the victim. And whatever situation or limitation that may be existing in your reality, just know that it really just takes a shift of perception, because whatever's showing up, it's here to help you. Everything is here to help you. Nothing is here to diminish you. Okay, I'm going to end it on this final topic because it's kind of going off on a different tangent, which, maybe I've gone on a lot of different tangents in this. I kind of just blanked out. Okay, let me end it on this final note. So the way that we shift from victim to creator is we do a 180 and we go through some sort of radical transformation. And the best way for us to radically transform our life is just let life transform you. Oh, okay. I remember what I wanted to talk about. Karma. Karma can be a very tricky thing. I've had this conversation with my guides where I've asked them, what is karma? Is it like a punishment? And they kept showing me Lady Justice, Blind Justice, Judgment. And so when you're going through an awakening process, you go through what's called like a final judgment. It's like a final judgment. So based off of the accumulation of your past life experiences, including this one, you're going to go through an obstacle. And it's tricky because it almost seems like this obstacle is punishing you, right? Like, oh, this is really difficult. This is challenging. How do I overcome this? And the irony is the obstacle is only there for you to alchemize. So whatever situation you're going through, you have to take it and you have to turn it into a golden opportunity. This is how you become the golden child. You find the golden ticket. You become it. You realize you are the goose laying the golden eggs. Okay, I'm dropping all kind of random references right now. you are the goose that lays the golden eggs. And so you have all of these gems, these wisdoms, this alchemy, magic inside of you, this ability to turn anything into gold. So if you can see whatever challenge you're going through as an opportunity for growth, as an opportunity, like, oh my gosh, just imagine how much I can glean from this. Wisdom. Wisdom is the golden egg. It's the wealth in all the realms of consciousness. And with that wisdom, the knowledge of your experiences and whatever difficulties you've gone through experiential wisdom. So the universe is giving you experiential wisdom. Experiential wisdom is going to lead to a path of inspiration for you. It's going to lead to you following your dreams, creating your dreams, and being empowered. So I think it can be kind of difficult for us to be like, oh my gosh, I just have to let this karma unfold. But there's a grace in karma. There's a grace to it. And the universe is trying to show you, even though the illusional obstacles are here and they seem like they're blocking your path, nothing is blocking you from your joy and your happiness and fulfillment. That you can access every day, every moment. Nothing ever can stop you from feeling joy and happiness in your life. So you might be going through an illusionary obstacle, but no matter what, things are going to keep working out for you. If you identify with being a divine child, then that means that some part of you knows that you're always taken care of. And so whatever difficulties are showing up, they're just illusions. And they're temporary illusions. They're here to show you something. They're here to give you experiential gift to you. They're gifting to you and through you experiential wisdom. And as you obtain this experiential wisdom, you're going to have something to give back to others. And the thing that people want the most from other people is support, love, and wisdom. There's nothing like wisdom. A lot of people talk. You know, on the internet, how people talk, they got an opinion here, an opinion there. But you can feel the truth when someone talks from experience. It's not intellectual. It's actually based off of what they've gone through, and it comes straight from their heart. All of those broken songs or those sad songs I've written came from my own experience, things that I've felt. And now I have more of a point of reference to understand what people are going through when they're suffering. The older version of me would have been more closed off and, I don't know, maybe disconnected from other people and their struggles. But because I've gone through my dark night of the souls, I want to connect with people more. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, people really do need love and support, and they deserve it, because you don't want people to feel alone when you felt alone, right? You don't want people to feel like, growing up, I felt at times, because of that programming my parents had of children are seen, not heard, I did feel dismissed, and that didn't feel good. So when I had the opportunity to teach kids as a teacher, or whenever I have the opportunity to work with someone, I always want to encourage them, and I always want to bring positive energy, because I don't ever want them to feel dismissed. Like, don't feel dismissed. Like, oh my gosh, there's so much love and support in this world of people who want to help you. And you also have to build that within yourself. And the more you build that, the more you attract it. When I allowed myself to be seen, through YouTube talking about my story, or people sharing my story, the more people just started to show up in support of me. I'm not going to say I all of a sudden attracted a bunch of friends and whatever. I've never really cared about popularity like that. I honestly I care more about connection. Like, that one-on-one stuff is so vital to me. That real connection is great. I attracted that the more that I saw myself, and I looked in the mirror and I saw how beautiful I was, and felt how beautiful I was, as opposed to in the past where I felt maybe disgusted with myself at times, or just shameful, just because of programming and what I was taught. So just know that, look in the mirror, you are a beautiful creature, a beautiful mystery that's unfolding, and I want you to embrace that. Thank you guys so much for being here, listening to this podcast. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day or evening whenever you're watching this, and definitely be hit the notification for the next upload, the next podcast, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.